Think that has anything to do with it?
So this is our 2012 Polaris Ranger, and it's got a lot of problems that we're going to try to address today. Be good. Started out as a brake change because I had some brake issues, but then as you guys saw, got some bearing issues as well. So we got calipers, pads to change, bearings to change, oil change, and the oil plug's messed up. We got to get that straightened out and fixed. Starter solenoid. This is your disclaimer. I'm not a professional. I'm just a fellow who refuses to pay one when something like YouTube exists. The hammer choice should have gave it away. The lack of a jack stand should also give it away. Oops. We're going to start with taking the brake off and then just go from there. And that comes off the way. The pads, it's got brand new pads because that's what I thought the problem was. Zip tie this thing up out of the way somewhere. We'll drop it first. Makes the brake line a little longer, so whenever we put it back on, it'll probably be easier to get on there. Should do those, probably just throw them as far as I can. Basically, everything that attaches this to this main body is going to have to come undone. So we're here with the steering arm. We got these A-arms here, top and bottom. Just making up terms, by the way. Those would have to come off, and then the axle nut's going to have to come off. And I'm sure she'll just, using the highest of quality multi-tool here. Nice. Oh, easy peasy. I got a pickle fork that could spread those off, but I don't have, I'm not replacing any of this, so I don't really want to mess it up with the pickle fork. Part of me just wonders if some hefty taps would do it. These should be inside. Hang out for me. Okay. Now obviously these bearings got to be pressed in. I do not, well, correction. Oh gosh, that was heavier than I thought. I did not have a press. Now this isn't going to be the size you expect it, but I got it specifically for this shop, and we'll talk about that here in a second. If we can get this slapped together real quick. We got this from Vevor, obviously. Get out of here, box. Don't get. So they have up to a 20 ton, and by they I mean Vevor. You can get bigger ones than that. I wanted to get some tools. We've been getting some tools for this shop. Keep in mind, at some point, when we build a bigger shop down at the gym is when we'll get the bigger tools. I don't want a big 20-ton press up here because I don't have a tremendous amount of space. If I need a bigger press, I can run over to Dirt Perfects and borrow his. I got this itty-bitty little 6-ton tabletop press because I can use it here, and when I'm done, we're not using it, we can set it right underneath there so it's out of the way. And I'm trying to keep in mind and keep this thing set up for what it's going to be in the future. I mean, eventually this is like our maintenance shed for all the property, right? The mowers will be in here, the small tractor, the four-wheeler, stuff like this. We'll be working on smaller things. So I'm trying to get the appropriate size tools for the building and the stuff we'll be working on. That's my mindset. So I don't even know if the 6 tons enough for the bearings we're doing on the side-by-side. I would think so. We're getting ready to find out. Probably should specify, because somebody's going to say you can get bench top 20-ton versions as well, and that is true. So when I say I'm trying to get stuff to the appropriate size, I mean what we're going to be doing up here in the future is itty-bitty things. And I don't want to overpower and break itty-bitty things. And I've found in the past the appropriate size tools help keep you from destroying little things. Got it? Got it. The snap ring is on this side, that's right. There's part of it, and there's part of it. Let me get my pliers, try to get it out of there. Perfect. Probably can reuse that. Good example why you should get new snap rings. if you're getting the bearings. There we go. 6/10 is perfect for the little side-by-side bearing. Perfect. That's professional.
Why you need safety glasses.
This is why I need safety glasses. So this kit did come with new snap rings. It came with 2 different sizes. So I'm guessing one of the Rangers has a different size snap ring, but should be the correct one for us. Well, it's got a snap ring. I'm not going to tell you how it happened because I wouldn't advise it. All right, next step. Let's put it back on. This just came in. I only got about an hour, but I want to see if I can try to get one of these put together and make sure that this actually fits. By the way, my new microphone should be coming in next week. We've been running a few videos without it. I run that DJI microphone. I love it. I think it's a great quality and it's held up really well, but I dropped it the other day and it fell into the pool project and completely submerged for probably 20 minutes before I noticed that's where it was at. And you're not going to believe this, but it hasn't been working great since. So we've just been running the raw audio on the DJI, but it's not as good as the audio off the microphone. And that's a $300 purchase. But I love you guys enough that I want you to have good audio. So I'm fine with it. These are the right thing. Let's get the old one and compare it. Yeah, they look identical. Yeah, I was thinking about something the other day. I don't know if you guys watch Wes work. Fantastic channel, by the way. And I don't know if Wes is a big scary movie kind of guy when it comes to October season, because we're kind of creeping up on that. New lug studs, that's good, comes with the kit. But I like to think if he is a big scary movie type of fella, that he just watches my mechanic videos to give him a good fright, you know? Really get him into the season. Thread locker already on it, that's handy. We're just gonna go ahead and assemble these. Shiny new rotors, that's fancy. You see, because Wes would have known that these need to go in first, clearance wise, you know? Yeah. Oh, man. Maybe they'll slip past. Yeah. Nope. Using the torque specs I found online. I'd look them up if you're doing it. I also wouldn't do it any of the things I'm doing, you know? Probably would have been a good time to change the upper and lower ball joints. Here we are not doing it, you know what I mean though? We're just... Get real fancy and throw a brand new one in. You know it's the real deal. It's the Pro Pack. So next thing, we're going to change out the brake caliper. Now this side isn't too bad, but the other side definitely needs changed out. And if we're going to change them out, let's just do both. And I'll show you why when we get to the other side. But I picked some up off eBay. That's a traveling the world kind of smell from this box. But it's got the brackets. Comes with brand new pads and brand new calipers. They're not labeled, but one's got a bleeder there, one's got a bleeder there. That's going to be the dead giveaway of where we need to be. Take the banjo bolts out here. Go lose some fluid. That's fine. I gotta figure out how these attach. I don't know. But then somehow, some way, these pads, I'm not seeing it. Can you retract those so that goes in deeper? What in the Polaris is going on here? There's an Allen screw in the back one of these, or a hex nut, hex screw, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna loosen that and see what happens. That little Allen key, little plug on the back is in fact the secret. It allows you to collapse that back into the caliper. And then you can slide the pads on. Perhaps. No, you just... There we go. What a concept. Suppose the traditional method was too complicated. Okay, then we can pull that back out where it's supposed to be and put the cap back in. And there's a stop in there, so this can only go in so far. That is a lot less movement. A lot less. That's what we're going for, guys. A lot less. Oh yeah. So I don't know if I showed this very well on the other one, but I want to show it on this one. Not only can I feel it, but you can visually see there's a ridge and a wear pattern to this, which is one of the reasons we're replacing the hubs. 2 hours? I mean, I don't think that's too bad for Phil. It's just making it up as we go. Let me show you why we need to replace the calipers. See, this one chucked the pad out a long time ago and I never replaced it. And if you look real close, this groove right here shouldn't be there. That should be flat across there. But that was actually rubbing on the rotor, so it chewed that up pretty good. So, new calipers it is. The other thing I need to do right quick, I didn't know that the new calipers came with new banjo bolts, so I changed it out on that one. I need to put a new one on that one. Also, the word need is a pretty strong word here, but I guess might as well is really what I'm looking for, you know? All right. So next up I need to do an oil change on it, but the catch there is when we got it, the oil plug was stripped out, and I managed to get it off last time, but it's completely stripped now. So the plug location is just up under there, but you gotta go kind of underneath this area to get it. I'm gonna try and see if I can't get it manipulated out of here. Where's it at? Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay. Gonna need one of these oil catching devices though, you know? Oh yeah. The old T40 tapped in. That's the ticket. To find the oil filter, what you do is you just reach down and you start feeling in the most inaccessible spot for maintenance. And then you're gonna find it right there. There it is. I don't use a ton of OEM parts. I know you're finding that hard to believe, but I do run the Polaris filter and I run their oil. I'm sure it's a very special oil, and there's no other oil manufactured in the same facility that they put in hundreds of other machines. New plug with new crush washer. Very fancy. I just filled it, the dipstick. Shove the old flexible funnel down here. Well, hopefully this is the right solenoid. And we're almost to where we need to be. Got a harness there, and then just the two on top. Let's hook the battery back up, and then we'll see if it does anything. Probably should check that before we put so much effort into remounting it. Little brake action. The only other thing I can think of is maybe it's a safety thing. I'm getting a brake warning. Probably because we don't have any fluid. Let's top them off. Let's go ahead and remove the brake cap here. It's a bag I shoved in there 5 years ago. Yep. Been doing a pretty good job. kind of a tricky spot. There's the tip of the funnel. If a fella can manipulate it down into there. I did buy a new cap though, so we got that going for us too. So nothing's coming through. I'm guessing this is a consequence of my own actions type scenario, where that's so dirty inside there. It's not letting anything through. I don't know. Let's pull this panel off, see if we can take that master cylinder off, and then maybe clean it out. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Someone, but I don't. Had to shove that bolt through with the old bolt poker there. No idea how I'm going to find it or where it went, or how I'm going to get it back in. But one crisis at a time, you know. Those are out. Now we got the keeper on this side. This fella right here, where it attaches to the pedal. I'll get that off there. Let's give that the old 1-2 maybe. Yeah. Didn't even have to give it the 2. Just the 1. Nice. Then we got this zip tie to get off. And then I think I can loosen that bolt there. These 2 brake lines should be able to slide off. It should be the front. And then further towards here in the back, I can't see yet, but there should be another set for the rear. I'm going to just slide this bolt back through, not tighten it. Just put it in there. That gives it something to go against. And then we can loosen that up. Helps if you turn it. Oh, you guys just, that's fine. You look up there for a little bit. So this little 2-prong sensor just kind of pulled off the back. There's the front brake lines unhooked from that now. And then the only thing we should have at this point is what I believe is the rear brake line. Rear line is off. Now we can pull her out and see how nasty she is on the inside. This is my assumption of why we can't bleed the brakes. Is it because I've been running a bag for a lid for the past 6 years? She's just filled with junk. We're gonna find out. Oh, I don't know. You think that has anything to do with it? No. No, that can't be the problem, can it? So I cleaned it out what I thought was pretty good, and we started trying to do this with some fluid in there, and I get nothing. So it's still too dirty inside of that. So I think a fella's gonna get adventurous, because at this point, you know, what are we hurting? Take that snap ring off, we'll see how this disassembles. Maybe we can clean that barrel out. There's just a snap ring there. You think there's a bunch of pressure? Think it's gonna shoot out in my face? Possible. It's possible. Anything's possible. Okay. I feel like if I looked it up, a new one of these is 20 bucks, you know, but here we are. Living our best life. Debatable. Okay. Never getting that back. So that one feeds the back and that one feeds the front, I suppose. I learned there's another plunger in there, which makes sense. Front brakes. Bakes? No, front brakes. Back brakes. Now I can get this thing cleaned out. Spotless. I'm going to get all this stuff cleaned up. This way there. Very nice. Yeah. Okay. These look great now. There's no crud or nothing on them. I think they're going to work. Pretty spotless in there. Oh yeah, she looks brand new in there. I'm going to pour just a little bit of brake fluid in this. And I'm going to lube some of this stuff up. I feel like it shouldn't go in dry. Let's just get crazy with it. You know? And then this one went in. I'm just remembering what I saw when I took it out. Like what I was looking down at. I mean, that feels really good. Now that's something. I mean, I guess let's see if we can get her put back together on here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap on so we don't get any more junk in there. So it's actually a couple days later. I finally found the time. We're gonna try to get the brakes bled real quick, and hopefully that is it. That's looking like something neat. Anywho, brake fluid in the bottle. I'm gonna trim my hose up just a little bit, but I'll show you the old one-man brake bleed method here. We're starting furthest from the system. Oh, look at the air bubbles. See the air bubbles working out of the line? Try this side. There, you got her cracked. Get the tube on there. Hose is submerged. I don't see any bubbles. I'll tighten that down. Here's my brake holding buddy. Yeah, alright. Very handy tool. So I just ran each side a few more times. Definitely got a couple more big bubbles out. Now they actually feel like brakes, which is great. And now she starts up. Makes me wonder if it was the starter solenoid in the first place, or if it was the fact the brake system was so bad that it wasn't allowing this magic switch back here to be engaged. Makes a fellow wonder. Well, we got her solved now. Let's see if we can get all the plastic and everything put back together. Alright, we got the plastic back on. We did learn a thing though. This reservoir is directional. Apparently, it went the other way. I've got it on there backwards. Now, of course, the right thing would be to pull the whole unit back off, pull the reservoir off, put everything back, bleed it all out, and make sure she's right. And of course, I just trimmed the plastic so it would fit the way it is. So that should be fine. We're gonna go ahead and get the tools picked up and take her for a spin. We're not getting it right, fellas. We're just getting it running. Look at that, a dog. What are you doing, buddy? That's how she's good to go for now, until she's not. Man. Just real quick, because people have been asking, the 755, I'm holding this project hostage. There's parts and parts for this. I'm holding this project hostage because if I don't, I'll never get that thing done. You know what I mean? So I'm holding that hostage until this is finished, and we've been piddling on it. And believe it or not, the cab is almost 100% put back together. We'll have a video of the whole process coming out at some point. And this thing should be running and driving hopefully here in a couple weeks. That's when we'll put the video out on everything we've done up to that point. And then once it's a running, driving rig, then we're tearing in the 755. But I gotta have like a motivation, because it's really easy to just walk away from that and ignore it. What's leaking out of this? We're leaking coolant.
Where? It's fine, you know. Everything's fine. 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still progress. Well, at least it's at the shop already.